Referees have been a known problem in sports for a while. It seems as long as professional sports have been around, there's been complaints and arguments about the rules and officiating. However, two large sports have always been at the forefront of this criticism: basketball and American football. Recently, the NBA has been getting even more negativity around the referees. It seems refereeing has only gotten worse until now basketball is ranked above football and all other major sports besides soccer for having the worst officiating. For years, problems about officiating in the league have always been disputed, but recently there's been more concrete evidence of missed calls and favoritism. The big reason I wanted to make this video is because of things like the missed call on LeBron and the damning tweet a referee's wife has made in the past, which exposes huge problems in the NBA's officiating. If we go far back, even in the years of David Stern and before, people complained about the officiating, which David Stern always denied. However, these huge scandals still continued to come to light despite the denial. In 1951, Sol Levi was found to have ties to Salvatore T. Sollozzo, who was convicted of taking bribes in order to fix games. Later, in 1994, 45 out of the 54 NBA referees were found to be victims of tax fraud. Of course, tax fraud isn't a direct relation to refereeing, but being in fraud claims doesn't exactly create the image of the most honest person. And when you're looking for people to make unbiased, objective decisions that affect the outcome of an event, a league of individuals with legal problems that involve deceit might not be your best choice. Then, of course, there was Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy is probably the most well-known scandal, as it is one of the biggest and most recent. Tim Donaghy was caught in a huge scandal in 2007 in which he took bribes to try and rig and bet on games to make more money for himself. He also went on record to have personal vendettas, the most notable being against AI. The scandal was so big there are multiple documentaries about it and even its own 60 Minutes episode. But more importantly, he expressed that he was instructed by the NBA to fix games and make them more, quote, exciting, and stated that it was in the NBA's best interest to add another game to the series. The 2002 playoffs are under huge scrutiny for this, and that's a whole story on its own, with people thinking that the Kings were robbed of their finals chance against the Lakers, who ended up taking the game, that many think was rigged. But the main point is what he said in general. Think more about that statement. He was, quote, advised it was in the NBA's best interest to add another game to the series, end quote. David Stern will always deny rigging games for more profit, and legally, I can't accuse anyone of anything. But at the end of the day, the NBA is a business. They want more money just like any other business, so the motive would make sense. If we fast forward to the years of Adam Silver as well, he stated he wanted the league to be more competitive. With this missed call on LeBron, the game gets called into overtime, creating the image of a more competitive game, especially against huge NBA rivals of the Lakers and the Celtics. However, while some refs you can joke are intentionally fixing the game, other refs just genuinely make bad decisions, like Scott Foster ejecting Scotty Barnes the other night, or the infamous game Tim Duncan got ejected for laughing from Joey Crawford. Obviously, there's no proof or allegations of refs being told to fix games, so no definitive allegations can be made. However, some dots connect. However, there's also another massive point that we haven't even touched on yet, which is arguably more important. refs are human. This comes with positives and negatives. I want to go back to the tweet I referenced in the beginning. Refs are asked if they have a preferred team before they start the job, to avoid favoritism with calls. Except, once again, refs are human. Refs are going to have favorite teams or players, and they are going to have least favorite teams or players, just like Tim Donaghy in AI. Draymond Green has even gone as far as going after Mark Kogut, comparing him to Tim Donaghy himself. And this tweet shows a referee's family clearly having favoritism towards the Celtics. Because refs are human, it's inevitable they choose one team over the other. However, because refs are human, it means they're susceptible to the same things that we are. And perhaps that means we should cut the refs a break. Referees receive constant pressure and criticism, such as videos like this one I'm making now, and many, many others on the same topic. With the rise of social media in the new age, it's only gotten worse where anyone can post and tweet about calls. Refs have come forward and said that fans expect an impossible standard of perfection, which as fans we have to admit is true. As fans, when our team loses, what are the two things that we always blame first? Referees and injuries. Refs are human, and this negativity gets to them, just like it would anyone else, with many refs having to go to therapy with how much they get ridiculed during and after games. Refs being human only means they're going to inevitably make mistakes, regardless of whether they're intentional or not. At the end of the day, us fans sitting on our couches are in no position to make claims of refs cheating and scandals until there is more evidence brought forward, just like any other crime. The refs and people inside the league know more about the situation than us in the seats at a game or even watching at home. Refs are human, and until we give them a break, the more criticism they receive is only going to lead to more pressure, leading to more missed calls, leading to more criticism in a never-ending cycle. If we want the refs to get better, it also has to start with us.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.